just for it to upload.
Okay.
All right, you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the today. So the topic we have today is how to know if it is love or lost. A lot of us are in relationships. A lot of us are interested in going into relationship, but we find it difficult to really know. Really, do we really love this person, or is it just because of one or two things that we are in this relationship? Today we have a very interesting guest today. We have Mr. Nsikak Fyneface. He's an author and he's a coach and he's a public speaker. And Nsikak, you're quite popular on TikTok. Let's start with TikTok. Tell us about your journey on TikTok.
Oh yeah, so I downloaded TikTok apps I think 2 years ago, and then I wasn't interested. So my younger brother kept on telling me, I feel like you should move your content to TikTok. He kept on disturbing me because he's like, he's my very loyal follower, my younger brother, and he kept on disturbing me. So sometime in 2022, I just felt like, okay, let me start uploading videos on TikTok, and then that was it. Um, I started getting, calls, people reaching out to me and all that. And then that's how, so I run a TikTok platform where I come live on Saturdays and Sundays, and I basically talk about dating a Nigerian man. That's what I talk about. I've also written a book as well, dating a Nigerian man in an
Mm,
interracial relationship. Yeah, so my TikTok channel is dedicated to major tips that will help you build a good relationship with a Nigerian man. But then it's for the foreign ladies, like it's for women that are not Nigerians that are interested in being with a Nigerian man. Yeah, so
mm,
it's been
mm.
growing. It's massive, and we've got a lot of reviews. Like we've been able to help a lot of women, because we talk about a whole lot of stuff. We share major tips that will help you identify a genuine Nigerian man, and then we share tips that will help you identify a romance scammer. So it's kind of mixed. And then sometimes when we come live, it gets so heated. We could have like 300 people on our TikTok live, and then you could see some scammers actually show up, and they are
Yeah,
attacking us like, hey, you guys are spoiling the show for us, and so it's interesting, and I've been doing that since 2022, and then it's just been growing. Like I said, I released
yeah,
my second book February this year, and trust me, my people on TikTok bought like my books have been selling in America, the UK, Canada, Australia, some European countries and all that, thanks to
countries.
my people on TikTok. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I didn't do any kind of promotion. I just dropped it on
talk
Amazon, and
to it.
then
Mm,
yeah, they've been distributing it for them all over the world. So that's just it. So um it's just that for me, I just see it as a privilege, given to me by God Himself to be able to help people. Yeah, because we've helped a lot of people. So yeah, so
yeah.
that's just it. It's just basically
Mm.
about dating a Nigerian man
Mm,
and all that.
we'll get into that. Interesting how some people see love as an opportunity to make money. I mean,
Yeah,
isn't it fascinating
yeah,
how that is? How is
yeah,
it? What kind of mindset does someone have to be in to be able to, look out for people who they can prey on using, oh, I love you or something like that. How do you
yeah.
see that dynamic?
Well, I feel like it's something that's always been there from the beginning of the world. Some people see love as a platform they can use to enrich themselves and become better. Like I'm sure you're a Nigerian. You see some Nigerian girls, for instance. I have nothing against anybody, but you see a young man who's just
Yeah,
struggling, asking them out, and you see them making very out, they begin to make some crazy demands. And sometimes you see
demand.
you see
Yeah,
you see some young men having to do crazy things just to be able to, you know, satisfy them, and then maybe have them, love them and all that, which is unnecessary.
no,
I believe that yeah, any love that has certain like clause attached to it is not love. It's not love.
yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, For me, nobody should be able to push you to the point of making you feel that love is all about money. Love is all about what you can give to them, especially when it comes to the financial aspect. No, that's what love is not.
Yeah.
That's a total misrepresentation of love. That's not what it
Mhm.
means. Yeah. So I think for me to, I mean, being able to travel to certain countries apart from Nigeria has actually opened my eyes as well, because sometimes we usually feel like in Nigeria you should be able to have millions of naira in your account before you are able to ask a girl out and then go into a relationship with her.
Mm.
But I mean, in other part of the world, they don't see things that way, because most
Ah,
girls in
well.
some other countries are, they have jobs, they are working, they are earning well, so they don't really expect anything from you. They just expect you to be sincere, committed, and all that. So for me, I think nobody should actually subscribe to that idea that, you have to be
Yeah.
able to pay my bills and do all that before I can love you. No, that doesn't work. It
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with you. Like I have literally no disagreement with those points there. I mean, now that we've spoken about, what you deal with on a day to day, the topic for today is, okay, how do you know then if it's love or lost? But we're gonna start with finding out first of all, is it true that everyone has love in them? Does everyone have love in them?
Yes, I would say yes, it's true. Everybody created by God actually has love in them, because I mean, you grew up in a family where you had your siblings and all that. You were showing them love. You grew up under your
Mm,
parents. You were showing them love. They were showing you love, and you were reciprocating the love back to them. So we all have love in us, but now it depends. Now, what would also determine how we, show our love depends on the experiences we've had through life. Maybe someone broke
mm,
your heart. Someone broke your heart when you were loving the person with everything you have. The next relationship you go to, you're gonna try to limit the way you show love. So, our encounters and experiences in life would either um, make us show love to the fullest,
yeah.
or make us try to reduce yeah,
Build
the
a
way we
wall.
show. Yeah, but
Mm,
every human being created by God actually has an atom of love in them. We've all experienced love in some way, and we've all given love in some way. So yes, it's true that we all have love in us, but our experiences, the encounters we've had with people, the way we've been treated by people is what would determine how we show love, to the
yeah.
people we meet in life. Yeah.
So it's the experiences that make women. For instance, you meet a girl, you meet a woman, and she will tell you, "Oh my, I'm well gathered. I have this wall, and you need
Yeah.
to break down those
Break.
walls." So you're
Yeah.
saying that those things are usually due to maybe some experiences they've had in the past,
Yes,
right?
of course. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
initially she was in a relationship and she was all caring, loving, always available, being there. I mean, you see some girls, they would even go to a guy's house, wash his clothes, cook for him, clean their house, and then the guy still ended up treating them like trash. When such a woman
Mm,
goes through that kind of experience and she's able to get out of it, she's never going to be the same person. She'll be very careful, yeah, because she doesn't want to repeat those kind of mistakes anymore. So, yes,
okay.
when you see some
Mm,
ladies, they are like, no, I don't believe in love. No, I don't do it. It's based on what they've gone through. It's based on the
they've gone through.
experiences, yeah, the encounters they've had, and so that's just how it is.
Mm. The next question is, so to you then, we've talked about love, but we haven't even defined what it is. To you then, what is love? And then
Oh,
I'll combine it with another one. What is love? And then is it real or is it an illusion?
okay, so for me, there's a way I usually define love. For me, love is all about empathy, sincerity, availability, giving, consistency, and faithfulness. Now I'm gonna break them down. This is my own concept, like this is how I see love. So when we talk about empathy,
Mm,
it simply talks about understanding and sharing each other's feelings.
mm,
Understanding and sharing each other's feelings. So you're in a relationship, you get to understand your wife's feelings, you share her feelings. So when she's going through something, you know that she's not okay. I mean, you've gotten to that point of understanding her feelings and all that, and she understands yours too. So that's what empathy talks about. Sincerity talks about
mm,
being genuine and honest without hidden motives. Being genuine and honest without hidden
honest.
motives. I mean, you're in a relationship or you're married to somebody, you're just genuine. You're like a white paper. They can see through you. Your partner can, I mean, you're just genuine and you're honest. Look, you can't talk about love without being sincere. Anybody who's saying, "Oh, I love you," and
Yeah.
then they are not sincere, that's not love. So, sincerity talks about being genuine and honest without hidden motives. Number three talks about availability, being there for each other, both physically and emotionally. Always being there, always. I mean, your partner can actually count on you and know that, yeah, emotionally, he's always there. Physically,
Mm,
he's always there. Even when he's busy, he's always there for me. So that's what availability is all about. Then giving. Look, for me, you can't talk about love without giving. There's one of my quotes where I said that giving is the major proof of love. Giving. Now, when I
yeah.
talk about giving, it's not just about giving money, it's about giving your time, giving
Um,
your ideas, giving that your shoulder for your partner to cry on. Giving goes, it's in our generation where we feel like giving only has to do with money. No, there's a lot of stuff you
yeah.
can give to the person you love, giving them good counsel. So giving, simply talks about offering support, time, care without expecting anything in return. You're offering support, giving them your time, caring for them, and then you're not expecting anything. You basically do not want anything in return. That's what giving is all about. And then we talk about consistency. I'm somebody who I'm so much in love with consistency in every aspect of my life. I believe that for you to be successful in life, you've got to be consistent. So, consistency in terms of love talks about showing up reliably, building trust through steady actions, showing up reliably, and then building trust through steady action. So it
Yeah.
means that from the moment you guys got into a relationship, you've been showing up for her consistently. You understand? She knows that you are reliable. That's what consistency is all about. And without consistency, we can't talk about love. So for me, love is consistency. I mean, from the first day 10 years ago, you told her you love her, and then 10 years later, you're still singing the same song.
It's
I love you.
still.
That's consistency. Yeah. And then
Mm,
the final one talks about faithfulness. What does it mean? It means staying loyal and devoted, creating a foundation of security. Faithfulness talks about staying loyal and
yeah.
devoted, creating a foundation of security. Just imagine somebody who is an alcoholic. He stays loyal to alcohol. He consumes alcohol morning, afternoon, and night. He doesn't joke with it. That's how love should be. When you talk about being faithful to a person or to something, it simply means staying loyal. I'm somebody
Loyal.
who believes so much in loyalty. I believe so much in being loyal to people and all that. So you can't talk about love and then you're not faithful, you're not loyal to the person you say you love. So for me, this is what love represents: empathy, sincerity, availability, giving,
Yeah. Yeah.
consistency, and faithfulness. Now these qualities
Yeah.
caption a deep, lasting kind of love. These qualities I've mentioned, I mean, for me, this is what love means to me. To some people
Mm,
it may mean something else, but for me, these are some of the qualities I look at. I mean, if you look at your parents, maybe your mom or your dad, you could see these qualities in them based on how they raised you and how they still relate with you till today. They show empathy towards you. They are sincere. They're always available
mm,
for you. I mean, even when you've grown to become a man, your mom is always still available. Your dad is always there trying to support you. I mean, they give to you. They are consistent and they are faithful. I mean, they don't ever give up on you, no matter the things you do to them. So, for me, this is what love means to me.
yeah. Listen, there's a lot in those 6 points too. to unpick. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
not what we're going to do in this video. Maybe we'll do another video to unpick those 6 points, the six points of love.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's fascinating. There was one though. Something I just want to talk about is I think in that giving aspect that you talked about. You
Yeah.
know, it's crazy how a lot of relationships are actually just hinged upon what, for instance, the woman is getting from the man.
Yeah.
And the moment, you know, that that flow stop or even reduces, you will see some women say,
She's
"Oh,
gone.
what are you even
Yeah.
doing for me? Where are
Yeah.
we? What is happening here? Look at my friends. Look at my this thing. I'm not. We're no longer living the life that
Mm.
we used to live." So in that kind of this is just an example. In that kind of situation, can we say truly that there was ever love in that
No.
situation?
No, that was conditional. The love was actually based on what she was getting. So since that stuff is
Mm,
no longer available, she's gone. So that's conditional love. That's not love. I mean, love doesn't depend on anything, especially, I mean, when it comes to a man and a woman. I mean, loving somebody. That's why you could see some women, her husband lost his job, I mean, and then the woman steps in and then she begins to cater for the family, takes care of the family, pays the bills, and you won't even know. I mean, I know of a man who lost his job and for like 5 years he was jobless. It was the wife that was feeding the family, paying school fees, taking care of. And the moment the man got a new job, I mean, he totally transformed his wife, bought her a new car, and so that's what you call love.
mm,
I mean, she was able to step in, cover his shame. But a woman who would say, "Oh no, no, I'm done. I mean, since you can no longer give me this, I'm gone." That was love was never involved. It was just about the financial gains, and all that. So let's not be deceived. I mean, a person who loves you will always stand by you through thick and thin. But I mean, if something goes wrong and then boom, they are gone, that was never love. It was just they were
it was
just
never.
hanging around you because of the things they were getting from you.
Yeah, yeah. So just quick for me, I believe love is real. So just quickly, yes or no? So
Yeah.
is love real or an illusion in your
Oh,
own?
for me, love is absolutely real,
It's
just
real.
like you said. I mean,
Real.
love is real.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's only a generation today where they will make you feel like love is not real because certain people attach certain things to love. But I mean, think of our parents. I
Love.
mean,
Yeah.
when those days when women were faithful to one man and then a man too was also so. I mean, if you look through life and through the things we've been through, I mean, I'm sure you grew up under your dad and your mom. You saw the way they lived their life. Now, let me tell you something. My father actually died when I was 10 years old. That was some years back.
Mm,
Long time ago, yeah. And then after he died, people started disturbing my mom to say, "Oh, why don't you just remarry? Go on and remarry." Now it's been almost getting close to 30 years now. She has refused to remarry.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
she has actually
Mm,
decided to just stay loyal to her late husband and then care for her children. That's love. I mean,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
anytime I think about this thing, I become very emotional and I try to put myself in a position and I feel for her. But she
Yeah.
decided to say, you know what? I'm gonna stay loyal to this man, just take care of my children and see them grow. And that's all.
Mm,
It's almost 30 years now, about 20 something years now. She's still staying. So that's for me, love is real. Love is not an illusion. It's not love is actually real. I mean, and sometimes when you meet that person who genuinely loves you, you're gonna feel it because
yeah.
come rain, come sun, they are standing by you.
Yeah.
Whether
There.
you're broke, they are there. Whether you're angry, they are available. Whether I mean, so for me, love is actually real. It's actually not an illusion.
Yeah.
But now, people can define love based on, like I said, the encounters they've had with people, based on the experiences they've had. I mean, you're not going to tell a lady who's gone through like 7 different heartbreaks that love is real. She's going to argue with you. But I mean,
Mm,
yeah, but you could find certain ladies that they've always had somebody who genuinely loves and cares for them, and then they'll tell you,
and their
yes, love is
perception
real.
is different. Yeah.
Yes, so it
Yeah.
depends on who is
And
involved
yeah.
and the encounters they've had in life. But for me, love is real.
Hmm. Yeah, that point is good because I think in everything actually, not just in relationships and love. I think how we see things, how we define things is only based on our own perception. It's only based on
Yes,
the experiences that we've had and what we've seen around us. And that's
that's
sometimes
true.
what shapes people's views. And that's why some people are more inclined to be entrepreneurs and do their own thing because maybe they were exposed to it, while others are more inclined to maybe follow, get a job, do like the conventional rat
Yeah,
race and all that. It's
true.
it's yeah, it's very interesting take there. So basically, love is real, and I've also been able to. There's another question that I'll ask in the end in the bonus section, but we'll have just a few, two or three more questions before we. So tell us then about your own personal experiences. Are you married? How did you know he was the one? Just tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about your own
Okay.
personal experiences in love.
Yeah, I'm actually married for about almost 4 years now. The thing is, when me and my wife like reconnected, we knew ourselves some years back when we were kids and all that. But when we reconnected and we got talking, one of the things that actually drew my attention to her was her approach to work. She's absolutely hardworking. Like not even me could come in between her job and herself. So that's one of the things that drew me to her. And then we got talking. And then after a while, I started saying, okay, I think, we need to get serious, start a relationship. And one of the things she said to me was, go and pray about it. That was what she said. And then for me, it was kind of funny. Like, I mean, I'm talking to you about something, even though I'm a church boy, like I've been a church boy all through my life as a drummer in church and all that. But she said, go and pray. So,
Yeah.
well, I said, okay. But I now asked her, if I pray and then I get an answer from God, how will you know that's the answer? And she was like, don't worry, just go and pray. So I actually prayed about it. And then from that moment, I just had this kind of rest of mind. I had peace. And then, according to her, too, she also had peace as well. And she just somehow had that peace and that kind of reassurance. And she knew that, okay, this was the right path to take. So for me, it was just about that peace of mind. I mean, because I told God, if this person is actually for me, just give me peace and help me navigate through this and make her fall in love with me. And these were the things that happened. I know some people may feel like, oh, it shouldn't be spiritual and all that, but I feel like when you're talking about getting married or settling down with someone, talking about your future, somehow you need God to be involved in it so you don't make certain mistakes. I mean, we've seen the things happening these days on social media where you see someone get married after 2 months, they're talking about divorce and
It's
all
all.
that.
Yeah.
They did a big wedding and then just 2 weeks gone.
Yeah.
So for me it was about that prayer. After I prayed that prayer, I just had this kind of conviction and I had this kind of peace all around me. And then that was it. And I mean, today it's almost 4 years now. It's been awesome. So I just feel like, yeah, maybe for different people, they may have, different ways of knowing
And
that this is the
experiences.
person. Yeah. Yeah. But for me, it was about, that prayer. She said, oh, go and pray about it. And I did pray. And I just had that, assurance in terms of the peace I had. And that's just been my story. And for me, I would say this: it's been the best decision of my life. It's been the very best decision of my life till date, and I know that for real. It's been the best decision I ever made. So it was just about that prayer, and that was how I was able to know that,
Mm.
okay, this is the right path to take. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's very interesting. And yeah, thank you very much for sharing that experience. And prayer is, I think, it's they say is the key. Prayer is
yeah,
the key.
yeah.
Just before we round up, I feel like I was going to ask about conditionality in love, but I feel like we've already answered that. Obviously,
But
if
I
you
think
have
I'd like
those
to talk
six
about it
things.
though. I think I'd like
Oh,
to
right.
talk
Okay.
about
Go
it though.
ahead then.
Yeah.
Is it
So so
is love conditional? Tell us.
So love is either conditional or unconditional, depending on who is involved. Now, the truth is this:
Mhm.
it is unconditional when you talk about the love a father has for his son or the love a mother has for her daughter or something. I mean, you check parents, they accept you completely despite your flaws, you check how they love you. That's unconditional love. They don't care whether you
Mm,
disrespect them, whether you insult them, whether you don't keep to the rules at home. They just love you. Now, that's unconditional love. Now, when we talk about conditional love, it's based on each other's ability to fulfill certain expectations. For instance, in a romantic relationship, like we said, you hear some ladies say,
mm,
my man must be able to pay my house rent, buy me an iPhone, give me monthly upkeep, and send money to my mother every month. And you see some guys going to date those kind of girls. So it's
mm,
the love is based on him meeting certain aspect of their expectation. That's conditional love. And these things happen today. You see some guys today are
yeah.
like, okay, any lady I'm gonna date must be rich, or she must be. I mean, some of the things I see on TikTok these days, I mean, you see some young guys dating some women,
Crazy, crazy.
and then they believe it's the responsibility of that woman to be sending them money every month, paying their house rent, buying them. I mean, someone was on my TikTok live one day, a lady who's from Europe, and she was like, hey, she's gonna buy a Nigerian boyfriend a car and blah blah blah. And I was like, why? She said, yeah, because he's been asking for it, and she feels like he really needs a car. So he was putting now the guy when I got to investigate the story, the guy was kind of like giving her an ultimatum that if you don't buy me the car, I may just have to end the relationship. So she was afraid,
Wow.
yes, of losing this
Of
young chap.
losing
and
the
and
guy.
guess
Yeah.
guess what, she's like 65 and this guy is like 25. You understand? You can see. So he was like, if you don't buy this thing for me, if you don't get me a car, I'll just end the
I'm gonna
relationship.
leave
So
you.
yeah, she didn't want to lose him. So that's conditional love. I mean, for me, that's not even love anymore because I mean, why would you threaten me
Yeah.
that if I don't buy you a car, you're gonna walk away? So conditional love is what certain people practice today. I mean, oh, you have to respect me when I'm talking, you have to stand up and don't say anything. I mean, we have some men that are like that. They'll tell the girl, when I'm talking to you, you just have to stand. You shouldn't say a word. Just keep quiet, shut up till I'm. That's conditional. And some ladies are like, oh, you must be
Yeah.
able to pay my bills, buy me this, do take me on a vacation. No, that's conditional. So yes, love is either conditional or
Or
unconditional.
unconditional.
Yes.
Hmm. But then it's now about the reality of it. So the conditional one, based on the answers you've given before, the
Yeah.
conditional one is not the real one, right? But the
It's not
unconditional one is
absolutely.
the real one.
Of course, yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Based
That's
on
it. That
yeah.
unconditional
I just
love.
wanted just
Hmm. Yeah,
I just
because
wanted to
because
get
let,
it
let, let
right
me
for
tell
the
you this,
audience.
like
Hmm.
like before I got married, I was just like if I were to be my wife and then they were like, okay, marry this guy, I'll be like, no, because I mean I was just there. But I think it was unconditional love that made my wife say, okay, no, don't worry, we can do this together. I mean, she was actually earning far higher than me back then, so there was really nothing
Hmm.
like, yeah, but she decided to say, okay, I'm going to stand by you and then we'll grow together. And so we still have those kind of people who love you unconditionally. But in our
Conditional.
generation today, the things you see is basically that conditional love. You see a girl say, oh, if you don't have a car, I cannot date you. That's conditional. Oh, I cannot date a man who
Conditional.
doesn't have a car, who doesn't have a three-bedroom
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
conditional stuff. It
Uh,
means that
yeah.
the day they get to meet a man who has a mansion, they are going to dump you with a three-bedroom apartment for the man
Yeah.
who has it. So those are conditional stuff.
Yeah, that point you just made now, I'm gonna tell just my own little story for the audience to learn, just for people to learn, and I hope everyone that's watching or listening to us, that's watching this video, I hope you learned something from this. My own experience, based on that thing you just said about car now. So up here in London, right, I work from home. Yeah, my normal job. I'm an accountant, and I work from home all the time. And I do not see a reason why I need a car, right?
Wow.
I just don't because I work from home, 5 days a week. I barely go out, and I've met people here, and I can't even believe it, that has said to me, because you don't have a car, this is it makes it difficult to.
Wow.
And yeah, I just don't get it, honestly speaking. I just don't get it how, you know, how something as little as a car, at least now that, we understand how little a car is, it's not,
Yeah.
I don't see it as a big deal. I
Of
don't
course,
have
it's
a
not.
car because I don't want it,
You don't want to.
not
Yeah.
because I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And that's, I think, something that people should. I actually have a license, ironically. So, I also have my license. So, yeah, just to share that little experience. It's crazy how I think some women, and this is a bonus question. Is what is the role of like upbringing, how someone uh, grew up, the kind of family someone came out from, the parents? What is the role of that in also shaping someone's views about love? Is there
Yeah.
any role in terms of your upbringing? Hmm.
Yeah, it does. I mean, certain people grew up in families where they didn't have any experience of love. Maybe they grew up in a family where the father was always into abuse, domestic violence, and stuff like that, beating the mom, fighting every day. So your family plays a major role as well. Like the things you saw growing up as a child would also end up influencing you. Though sometimes certain people could actually grow up in very good homes where they experience love and all that, but they grew up and they decided to, divert and do their own thing. Yeah, but then I believe
Hmm.
that family actually plays a key role. I mean, I saw my dad loving my mom so much, providing for us. I mean, never did I hear my mom questioning him about maybe cheating or something. So growing up with that kind of mentality, I also knew that okay, I have to, try to keep it real and be myself, provide for my family, show my wife love, care for the children and all that. So for me, family is absolutely important. Like I've always said on
Important.
my TikTok platform, one of the ways we can actually influence maybe our community and our environment is through the family. I mean, a child who's
Yeah.
properly raised from the family, you will always see it
Mm.
when he comes out, he grows
Um,
up, and all that. So, love, for you to
um,
be able to understand the concept of love. And I mean, when I was trying to talk about unconditional love, I spoke about the family, the way your parents would love you, even when you're stubborn, even when you don't listen to them. Yeah, I mean, so everything flows through the family. I
Through
mean, you
the
see some
family.
girls, they'll say, my father, I mean, I see how my father shows love to my mom and all that, and then I just see some young men these days who can't even behave that way. Why?
Yeah.
Because they encountered, because of what they saw. I mean, some of them even enjoy how their dad treats them, and they try to compare it
Mm.
to how a guy treats them, and they're like, I don't even need a boyfriend. After all, my dad is there, he provides for me, he takes care of us, he's loving.
Yeah.
So, family for me is key. Family
Okay.
is
Mm.
key. Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
family is key when
Yeah. I
it
think.
comes to love.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with that one as well. Family is also very, very key. Yeah. I mean, we're running towards home stretch now. And I just have. I mean, in terms of that family one as well, that means you must be happy then that Trump won, because he has spoken a lot about family, a lot about keeping the community, that close knit community. So where did you stand on the U.S. election? This one is a bonus question.
You're dragging
Um,
me to
oh,
this. Well, the thing is, unlike I mean, we are Nigerians basically. Unlike our country, I think the U.S. election was simply based on policies. I mean, you could see Trump trying to sell his policies to the people. Kamala also did a good job as well, but I was judging it based on our country and the American people. I mean, you didn't see a lot of propaganda. It was all about, okay, what do you intend to do? What are your policies? And so for me, I think they did a good job, and I must really commend Kamala Harris as well. I mean, a woman.
mm,
She fought well. She fought well. I mean, I checked it out today. I think they completed. They were able to count all the votes today, and they rounded up everything. I think she got about two something, 220 something. I can't remember, but I saw it just a few minutes ago. I must really commend her. But
yeah,
for me, I think the best man for the job actually won. Trump was actually
yeah,
prepared. He did his job well. He was prepared for the task ahead. And I just wish
mm,
him all the best. And for me too, I
yeah,
also want our politicians in Nigeria to learn. I mean, elections were free and fair. The whole world could actually access the whole world actually had
the
access to the
yeah.
votes. You could see. I mean,
As it was
it
coming
was
in, yeah, yeah, we're
yeah.
seeing
I
it.
mean,
Results were coming
yeah,
from different, yeah, yeah,
yeah. So I was
different
just
from
telling
what we got
myself,
from Mahmoud and
yeah, I mean, I was just telling
INEC
myself, why can't
last
our
year. Yeah.
leaders get to this level of transparency? Why don't you just make up your mind to leave a legacy? I mean, look at what Goodluck Jonathan did some years back. He just decided to put that
Mm,
call across and walked away. This is what we want to see. We
yeah,
want an election where even Nigerians in the diaspora will be able to hook up on their phone and they're able to follow up and see, the exact votes coming in. I mean,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
worried for
Very
my
true.
country. Yeah, because we need
Mm,
to get it right. Elections shouldn't be like it's a do or die thing or we are fighting war or something. I mean, it should be free and fair. Let the votes,
yeah.
let the desire of the people
Then the people,
actually count.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. Because if you watch stations like NBC, CNN, they live. You notice that they were living in their own world. To them,
yeah,
Harris will win hands down.
yeah.
But then the people spoke,
The
and
people
I think
spoke,
that
yeah,
was the most
and the people were
powerful.
so
That was
clear.
the most
Like
powerful
the
thing.
people
Yeah,
spoke, and it was clear. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
Anyway, lots of politics. Maybe in another video we can talk about politics and we can break down a couple of the reasons why Trump won and why Harris didn't win.
no problem. No
But
problem.
just as we approach the home stretch now, so just in a few words, is it overrated or not?
Love?
What do you think?
No,
Is love overrated or not?
it's not overrated. Like I said, this also depends on the people involved as well. A simple negative encounter with a guy or a lady can actually make you feel like love is overrated. Just forget about that stuff. But when you're with the right person, you will simply understand that love is never overrated. Love is one of the best things that can happen to anybody once you fall in love with the right person. So I wouldn't say love is
Mhm.
overrated, but it just depends on the encounters we've had. You know, Someone could have a negative encounter and is like, you know what? That thing is overrated. I'm not interested. But there could be someone somewhere who's like, yeah, even though I've gone through something, I like to give love another chance, and then he
Another
keeps on
chance.
going. Yeah,
Mm,
so it's not overrated. I mean, like for me,
mm,
love is the most beautiful thing that can happen to any man or woman when you fall in love with the right person who loves you just the same way you love them.
yeah, 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 yeah. So the last one before we carry on, and this one might be a little, just a slightly controversial in a way. So,
Yeah,
can these women be like our mothers? And when I say these women, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
These women
Our
of these days,
generation, yeah.
the Gen Z generation, and even before them, the millennials and our own generation. Can these people can they match up to those standards
So the thing is,
that our mothers set?
every generation can never be the same. Every generation, they actually have their own peculiarity and all that. But we still have very good women that actually, learned a few things from our mother's generation. I mean, we have girls that were properly raised by their mom. We have girls that, they still have that fear, they have that respect. I mean, so they may not be like our mothers, but they could even be better than. But it's just
Mm,
some percentage of girls, not everybody. Because I mean, I've still
yeah.
seen some very good girls who still stick to, they are super disciplined, they
I
don't
agree.
misbehave, they are
Mm,
conscious of how they
mm,
dress, they carry
I agree.
themselves well, they are very respectful, hardworking. I mean, they know what it means to keep a home and take care of their man and all that. So they may not be like our mothers, they may even be better than our mothers because, I mean, there's no generation that can ever be the same. But then
Yeah.
I'm sure we still have very good women who, they've been able to learn certain things from maybe their mothers, their dad, their fathers, and then from other women they must have come around, they must have had encounters with through life. So they may not be like our mothers for me, They may even be
Mm.
better. Because I mean, listen, this girl has learned so much from her mom. She's learned so much from her auntie. She's reading books and then she's mixing it up with the little experience she's had also. She's gonna be better. I mean, if you have
Yeah.
a coach as an athlete and you have a coach who spends 24 hours of his day teaching you, inspiring you, motivating you, you'll be better than him. So yeah, these girls, the good ones can even be better than our mothers.
Than our mother. So just to
Yeah.
balance it, just so that our audience would not say, "Oh, why are we talking about only the women?" Because
Yeah.
I don't want you guys coming for me and
Yeah.
for Mr. Nsikak. So how about the men? Um, what would be your advice to young men now in terms of finding the right person and in terms of how they should prepare themselves for the right person?
So for me, for any young man out there, I would say this: don't be totally focused on finding somebody. Develop yourself.
Mm.
Keep working hard. Learn
Mm.
something. Keep making progress. Look, when you've gotten to that point where you've been able to sharpen yourself up, sharpen your skills, you've developed yourself to a certain level. Some of these girls are the ones who would be rushing after you. They'll be looking for you because you have something to offer. When I talk about having something to offer, it's not about money. It's based on, the level at which you've developed yourself to. They'll start looking for you because you basically have a name. So for me, for the young
Mm.
men out there, don't just sit down and say, "Oh, I'm looking for this girl. What do you have to offer?" It's not about money. What if a girl sits you down now? I mean, you could meet a particular girl who's like, "Okay, I'm not talking about money, but what do you have to offer? In what way can you affect my life? I'm not talking about money. How, in what will you be able to tell her?" So for me, for the young guys out there, let's develop ourselves. Let's what do they call this thing? Personal development. Train yourself, sharpen your skills. Look, you're going to discover a whole lot of stuff about yourself that you wouldn't even believe you had in you. I mean, for me, I never knew I could actually maybe become a relationship coach someday. I never knew I could actually work as an analyst on radio and TV. I didn't know all these things, but when I kept on developing myself, making moves, and seeing how to sharpen myself up, I got to the point where every day I was discovering new things. I never knew I could write a book. Yeah,
Mm.
I've always had my elder brother who's super intelligent. I think he's someone he needs to be on your platform as well because he's
Yeah.
loaded. I mean, I was always looking at him like, oh, this guy is the one who would write books, become a professor and all that. But when the idea came about writing books, I mean, I consulted him, we spoke, and then boom, I got into it. So why am I saying this? For the young men out there, keep sharpening your skills up. When you've sharpened yourself to a certain level, you won't have to stress yourself looking all around, running. No, the ladies are even the ones that will be looking for you because I mean your light is shining. When your light is shining bright, people will come to the brightness of your light.
Come
So
to the brand.
yeah, so for me, just develop yourself, personal development. Check where maybe you're lacking behind. Try to, learn something in that direction. Help yourself grow, and then the right woman will just show up at the right time.
Yeah. And on that note, we will, yeah, we'll round up. We'll call it a day. But I mean, just before we go, thank you very much, brother, for coming on today. Thank you for the time. Thank you
Good
for. I
pleasure.
know we've had to reschedule a couple times, but
Yeah, good 3 times. Yeah,
really, really, in the
yeah.
end, I think it's been worth it, and I know we're still going to come back more,
Many
and talk
times.
about a
And
few
I
more
must
things in the future.
apologize. I must apologize to you also because I mean we've
Mm.
been scheduling, and it was always my fault. So I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, I'm really
Yes,
really sorry about that.
all good, brother. All good. We're all
Yeah,
busy. We're all. I mean, and obviously we have to be busy to be able to,
yeah, to pay some bills, man.
make the home, to be able to continue to provide as a man
Yeah,
and to,
yeah,
provide,
yeah,
make the home, keep the home going. So that's
yeah.
all good. So what have you got anything coming up? Is there anything that the people out there should look out for? And then
Ah,
where
so
can they find you as well?
Okay, yeah, so you can check me out
Mm,
on TikTok. TikTok soulflows_f. Soulflows SOULFLOWS_F, and then Instagram as well. I'm Soulflows Fyneface on Instagram. So you can check me out on social media. I'm actually working on a book now, but it will be out in 2025. It's the title is The Thing About Romance Scammers. Yeah, that's the title, The Thing About Romance Scammer. So that's what I'm working on
mm,
now. Yeah, apart from that, I'm always live on TikTok Saturdays and Sundays, 11 p.m. in Nigerian time. That
yeah.
may not be suitable for some people. Yeah, so apart from that,
Mm.
yeah, it's just my normal
Yeah.
TikTok activity and all that.
We will have the links of all your socials on the video when it drops. So you guys look out
Okay.
for that. Look out for that link. And yeah, thank you very much, brother. And I'll see you next time.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So guys, thank you guys for watching the video. I mean, you've seen Mr. Nsikak, very interesting topic out there. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want to find out, if there's something that is not clear, just reach out to him on social. That is down in the description below, or you can shoot me an email, catch me on Instagram, catch Mr. Nsikak on Instagram as well, and your questions will be answered. Thank you very much for watching the video and see you in the next one. Bye.